Just when you thought it was safe to short Bitcoin, the Fed swoops in again to pump all markets. But will this be enough to bring Bitcoin back over 10K? We'll talk about the Bitcoin chart, and we'll also talk about a way that you can protect yourself from mobile hackers looking to steal your crypto. Keep watching. Welcome to BlockRoots. I am Josh, and on behalf of my co-founder here, Kenner and Clark, we just want to say welcome to the channel. If you've not yet subscribed yet, go ahead and do so. You just have to click the red button below. It's super easy. Go ahead and do that. And then also, while you're doing that, after you watch the video, make sure to comment or engage. Regardless of your thoughts, we'd love to hear from you. So go ahead, because each and every week we do give away $100 of Bitcoin to one subscriber that leaves a comment and engages on our video. So make sure that you do that. And if you like non-sensational technical analysis that gives you insight on your crypto trading and investing, you're in the right place. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Nothing is financial advice. Let's go ahead and talk about Bitcoin and the Fed doing their money printing this week. But before we talk about Bitcoin, I actually want to talk to you about a really important article that came out today in Cointelegraph discussing SIM-swap hackers target crypto investors, cell services not available. Now, of course, this article was encouraged due to the T-Mobile outage, I think yesterday, but we do want to talk about this because this is becoming a very increasing problem when it comes to crypto investors and traders like you and I. Now, earlier in the week, I talked about phishing scams, which I think is really scary. But in the end, what I think is even more scarier is having a hacker have complete access to your phone to be able to control it, and then for them to drain your crypto accounts, whether that be on your wallet or exchange, if they have access. Now, if you want to check out this article, like I said, it is on Cointelegraph, and I'll go ahead and review some of it. So first off, if you don't know what SIM swapping is, basically it tells you right here that SIM swapping involves the rerouting of a person's SIM card to a phone that is in possession of a hacker, thus allowing them to gain access to an individual's personal information, such as emails, bank accounts, details, cryptocurrency wallet, cryptocurrency exchange, basically anything on your phone the hacker has access to. And furthermore, over the course of the past few years, SIM swap attacks have seen dramatic spikes. And again, it could be a correlation that more and more people are holding cryptocurrency and money on their mobile phones, or it could be something else as far as hackers being able to see these gaps and holes in the security of these major network carriers. Now, regardless of what network that you're on, regardless if you're on T-Mobile, if you're on AT&T, if you're on Sprint, if you're on Verizon, it's been an issue with every single carrier. And then again, a large number of Americans are having their lifetime savings and invaluable data stolen from under their eyes solely because mobile operators are seemingly failing to take reasonable steps to prevent this. Now, I really won't read a lot of the rest of this article because it is, a few paragraphs long, but really it talks about how hackers are becoming more and more sophisticated, learning how to crack codes on mobile phones. And actually, it is very easy if there is an optimal reward. They are motivated to keep trying. And the problem with a lot of these carriers is that they're completely helpless because by the time you contact them, prove your identity, do everything else, a hacker could possibly even have drained your entire crypto from exchanges. They've gotten your passwords from your email. And really, it's a very scary thing. And even if the carrier gets you back access to your phone, it doesn't prevent a hacker from doing it again. And that's the worst part about it. And really what's so ironic about all this is that you're truly not even motivated until it happens to you. That's why I wanted to share this today, is because even recently I had a mobile phone scare of my own of a potential hack that really motivated me to go out and seek out somebody to help solve this issue. Now, luckily, I had a friend introduce me to Efani, which actually specializes in protecting against SIM swapping as a secure and private cell phone service comparable to T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint. And I'll be totally upfront with you right now. We're not receiving any money from Efani as far as sponsorship. I am a customer of Efani. Basically, if you own crypto, Bitcoin of any kind, I would encourage you to go to the website, and our referral link is Efani.org. It's right there on the screen, Efani.org, to check out the website and actually chat with them on their website as well. And I don't think it's going to take you very long to see that it's a potential no-brainer for you to change over to Efani's services. Because if you're like me and you wait until a potential scare, or like a lot of other people who have been SIM swapped and hacked, it's possibly going to be too late for you to be able to get your crypto back. And I don't care if you hold it on your phone or if you have it on Coinbase or Kraken. There have been many stories, if you search on Google and Medium, of people who have had their Coinbase accounts drained from SIM swapping. And again, I don't say this just to scare you, but that's just the reality of things. As things progress, the crypto market, more and more people are going to be looking to exploit mobile phones in order to get their share of somebody's crypto holdings. But if you do live in the United States, this is actually for you, and it is comparable to your other plans. Now, I am not the only one who uses Efani. Scott Melker, the Wolf of Wall Street's Charlie Shrim, you've heard of these guys before, and they both use Efani as well as many other people. And me switching to Efani was super simple. I basically called them up. I got a new SIM card privately. They secured it, and then after that, they actually insure it for up to $5 million of loss if you were to ever get SIM swapped, which they make sure to prevent anyway. And the cool thing is you can actually use your same cell phone number now, or you can get a new one, and it's comparable to other prices when it comes to AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon. They do use Verizon network, so they do use 4G network, but they do give you unlimited call, texting, 4G data, and Wi-Fi calling. And I know what you're thinking. You've been like, I've been with Sprint for 10 years. Well, the funny news is I actually was with Sprint for over 12 years when I switched, and I was really hesitant. But in the end, Sprint couldn't do anything to help preventing SIM swap attacks and people draining my accounts of my cryptocurrency. So myself and my wife have both made the switch. I even convinced my wife to do it, which you know that it has to be good if I can convince my wife to make a switch. But I do plan to talk a little bit more about SIM swapping, hacks, and that sort of thing in a future video. I did want to tell you about this today because of the recent news with more and more data being stolen from multiple companies and people being at risk for SIM swapping, including yourself likely. If you want to go to Efani.org, you can look up more of their frequently asked questions, including their 60-day money-back guarantee, which is really good. Again, they really honor this, and they want to make sure that you're secure. And their main priority is to keep both your crypto, your bank, and your identity, all information safe. Now, to show you how legit these guys are, Haseeb Awan is actually the CEO. He does follow me on Twitter. You can follow him at Haseeb on Twitter. And there's a lot of people who follow him, not just me. Pompliano, Pomp follows him. Jesse Powell, the CEO of Kraken, follows him. The CEO of CirclePay, Jeremy Allaire, Cantor & Clark, and a lot of other CEOs from other companies actually follow Haseeb because he's the real deal. So make sure to check out Haseeb over on Twitter. And then also, too, make sure to go to our link, Efani.org. If you are interested or if you have questions, make sure to chat with them. Contact Haseeb, or you can also drop some stuff below, and we'll try to answer it as well, too. But whatever you do, guys, be safe and make sure that you stay secure at all costs. Now that that's out of the way, right, let's talk about Bitcoin. And so as far as the market, with the weekly close this past week was down, right? We've already talked about that. And really what we want to see for a weekly close, which we're days away, is a close over 9,755. So it needs to come back up and break above the current close from the previous last couple weeks here, the resistance. And then two, I'm not going to really be bearish, as Cantor & Clark loves that, right? He tweeted something the other day about bearish and bullish, but really it's just a meme, right? I'm not going to really be down on the market or bearish unless the close breaks below this on the weekly, right? If we break below 8,700, then yes, I think we're going on down here to mid to low 7,000s. I talked about that earlier in the week. But since we're not really looking at the weekly too much, let's go ahead and look at the daily. Now, as far as the daily chart, it looks decent. Price did actually dip below 9,000 for a very short amount of time at this high volume node, bounce off, and buyers stepped in quite quickly. So I don't believe that we're ready yet to see below this. Now, as far as we continue to see higher lows, this is actually a good thing overall, but you also want to notice that we're also seeing lower highs on this trend. So right now we're actually seeing some compression in the last couple weeks here, which, again, as we always talk about compression, right? That's going to typically lead to a volatile movement. So be on the lookout this week for something a little bit more volatile, even though we've had some nice volatility over the last couple of days. Now, on the 4-hour chart, You guys have seen this the other day, and basically what I did was I took the top of the range, the bottom of the range, in the midline of the range, exactly in between, drew those out, and from there, what we're looking at is price to move back and forth in between this range. Now, specifically, anything above 98.60-ish or so, and anything below around 8,500 would be, quote, bullish, would be bearish, would be good, would be bad. And I think that we'd continue to get an uptrend over 9,800, a downtrend continual, a close under 8,500 on at least the 4-hour. And until then, I'm going to go ahead and mark out again each quarter area in between the ranges here. So in this 9550 area has been the area that we have wanted to see Bitcoin break back above and hold, because again, due to the structure here, we want to see price go above that. It has yet, maybe a small fake out there, but it has stayed under 9550 for the last few 4-hour candles. Now, price did dip below here, like I talked about before, but if you look at this, if you see the wick here, right, typically when you see a nice sharp wick like that, what's going to follow from there, just like it did here, is typically some price action to liquidate those late shorters. Now, we talked about that last time. If you are late to the party, you're not going to have a good time, because typically what happens is that you short late and then price moves back up again, especially if you're high leverage, to liquidate those positions. So again, we've seen that here and we saw that here in these badly drawn circles, but you get the picture here. These are areas where we saw price be bought up, followed by a push up. But from there, if we're not able to break above this area at 9,500 or 9,550, I think that we end up heading back down here to retest 9,250 and possibly break below that to go back below 9,000. So step number one is we want to reclaim 9,550, specifically on the 4-hour. I'd like to see it close above that and hold for at least a candle or so. And then number two is that we then want to see price make its way back up and close above 9,800 and then continue to move on up over 10K. Until then, I mean, again, this is the area that we're going to watch, and I think that price can move back below here. But this is one big giant range, and as I said earlier, we can basically range back and forth for a long time before the next potential move. There's no rule that you have to keep going back up or that you have to pull on back down to 7,000. Now, in fact, I've even said it, but I've thought that we'd hit below 8K. But if we don't break below this area at 8,500, I don't really see any reason at all to go back below 8,000, specifically down to 7,200, where a lot of people are targeting right now. So until this market structure breaks, I see us ranging for a while, but hopefully as it continues to compress, as I talked about on the daily chart, we'll see some nice volatility soon. And of course, nice volatility is great for trading. So just make sure that you keep an eye on those levels. As you know, the Fed has been pumping up the market. As you see right here, we've had a nice sharp pullback in the stock market, and we also had a sharp pullback with Bitcoin. But the Fed keeps doing their things, and they even said, this is via CNBC, the Fed says it's going to start buying individual corporate bonds, which again ended up pumping up the market. If you don't know too much about corporate bonds, basically, in order for companies to raise more money, they can issue bonds, which investors then buy, and the companies get the money, and then the companies end up paying back the investors, typically with interest, and that's just kind of how it goes. But if the Fed ends up buying these, of course, more money is going to be pumped into these corporations, which this is why the market's going back up. But I've already talked a lot today, so really what I want you to leave with is just be on the lookout with the Fed as far as buying back these corporate bonds and propping up the stock markets and continuing to push it on up, as well as Bitcoin and all other markets. Also, to make sure to keep an eye on these levels. We got to reclaim 9,550, and then from there, 9,800 on at least the 4-hour or above. If not, we're going to make it back down, I think, below 9,250, and then possibly go back down below 9,000. From there, I'm looking at 8,500 as the price definitely needs to stay above. If not, I'm thinking that we're going to see probably low 7,000s, at least 7,800. So those are the key levels to watch. And don't forget, if you are in the United States, make sure that you check out Efani.org as our link. Check that out. If you're interested at all, even if you don't feel like doing it today, check out Efani, contact them on their message chat app here. Also to make sure to follow Haseeb over on Twitter. And then this is just a really good quality service. I've been nothing but happy, and I feel secure after this. 24-hour service, $5 million protection insurance, which is really great. So just keep an eye out on that as well, and we'll drop the links for all these things below. Now, again, if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do that, and also make sure that you leave a comment below on any of this stuff that we talked about today. Would love to hear from you. Again, you will be put in the $100 Bitcoin giveaway at the end of the week, as we draw that each and every week here on BlockRoots. But that's it for me. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. We'll be back here this week to talk more about the charts and crypto and anything else that's going on. As far as that goes, you guys continue to be safe, be healthy, and trade effectively, and we'll talk to you guys soon.